Welcome to Business Over Beer, where entrepreneurs, small business owners, and people passionate about what they do bring us their stories and their favorite beer. Hosted by Ben Surratt, Jonathan Kaler, and Jason Knope, it's time to get down to business and drink some beer.
Hello everybody and welcome back to part 3 of this 3-part podcast of Business Over Beer. Knope.
Yeah.
Who do we have? We have a lot of people here.
A lot of people. We've got EcoDigital Media. We've got Columbia Credit Union, Joe Storm, Marc, Timm, Kimberly Brecko, and Randy, Randall Short.
Randall. Well, thank you guys again.
Okay. Yes, thank you guys so much for being here, for doing a 3-part episode with us. For anybody who missed part 1 and part 2, I can't imagine that could have possibly happened. But just in case, maybe you guys could give us just a real quick, again, another 50,000-foot view of Columbia Credit Union, what you guys are into.
Sure. Columbia Credit Union, local here in Southwest Washington, primarily in Clark County. I think we've got 13 branches. Also have a branch in Portland. We've got a commercial lending center also in Portland. So expanding a little bit to that side of the river. I've been serving the community for almost 70 years. Have over 100,000 members, a lot of satisfied members and employees.
Very cool. And Kimberly and Randy, just again, give us just a quick reminder, a little 50,000-foot view of EcoDigital Media and what you guys are into.
EcoDigital Media is a digital signage integrator. We assess, install, and manage content for monitors, video walls, touchscreen development, any kind of communication you want to have that includes a screen, which we call monitors.
Outstanding.
Obviously,
well,
she's
somebody's thirsty.
She's the tech and he's the sales guy.
Somebody's thirsty. I was going to say, Ben. Normally, I would ask you if you're thirsty. Clearly, Lyric is also thirsty.
That was a tall drink of water.
That was. But Ben, here we are. Problem. Here we are. We left off the last time. You looked thirsty. Did you get something to drink during the break, or are you still thirsty?
No, Marc took my drink.
Marc.
What?
Timm.
Everybody listen. On every episode of the Business Over Beer podcast, my lovely wife, Angela, picks us out a mystery beer. We call this segment Angie's Mystery Beer. Now, the beers that Angie usually picks for us, there's a phrase that goes along with it. Kaler, can you help me with that?
They're typically high octane, Ben.
High octane. So, here's the deal. Marc, you volunteered, or you were voluntold to be the opener of Angie's Mystery Beer. So here's the deal. You're going to open it.
Okay.
You're going to keep the bag around. We're going to pour a little bit in and sip it and try to guess what kind of beer it is.
So nobody knows what it is.
No. It's a game.
Only Angie.
Only Angie knows.
I thought, how hard could this be?
Yeah.
And then I got this toolkit to open it up. So it's going to be really interesting to see. Should I go?
Yeah.
This is your time to shine, my friend.
Go.
Angie,
would you mind?
I'm sure she
Scalpel.
is. Being high octane, do we have to extinguish flames or anything?
Anything's possible.
Never
burn off my hair.
Oh, maybe it is on nitro. It might be on nitro.
So obviously you've been through Angie's Mystery Beer before.
Yeah, right?
Oh, it's double sealed.
She said you needed a...
Angie's a professional.
Yeah. Not her first rodeo.
Exactly.
Okay. So there will be no sneaking peeks.
And you need
Do you need a knife?
Oh, might need to.
Is there a blade on it?
Yeah, I think so. Right here.
Yeah, I would try that.
no blade.
Oh.
Which one's
Not
that?
bad.
He's got it.
Get it?
Look at this guy. He's a pro.
We
I heard that you guys are thirsty.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh, look at that.
Bravo.
That's that's a cool top.
That is.
You should call Kyle and be
And
like,
then-
Dude, yeah, I don't know what.
Four
you got.
samples.
Yeah, just samples. If it's waxed.
It's better for samples.
Ooh, dark.
It's dark and chocolatey.
Nice taste.
Oh my
We
lord.
might need a scoop of ice cream with that.
Oh boy.
Mr. Storm.
It's guaranteed to put hair in your ears.
I can already feel it growing.
Right?
Oh, you got the right glass.
Can I get some ice
Not too
cream with
much
this?
now.
I know, that's
That's what
what I'm
Kimberly
saying.
said.
Telling you really good.
Whoa. Wow.
That
Here's the
is,
cue cards for Cano.
it's
I feel like we
very,
should have a cracker.
that is stout.
C and the ER.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That's thick.
Wow. That's good. That's good.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Lyric says when.
Oh my goodness.
It's gonna be okay, bud.
Oh, I'm good. I'm excited to take a drink.
Oh, wow.
Are we supposed to wait?
We're gonna prost. And then we can sip.
I'm not sure I'm ready for the outcome of that drink, but
We're proasting.
hey.
Proasting.
Prost.
Prost.
Proast. Oh, my word.
Well, she delivered on high octane.
Oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought.
Wow.
I know what this is.
That's not bad.
What is it?
You have a guess for real?
I'm only going to give you half of it. Barrel aged. So you could
I'll
say.
give you the other half. Stout.
Yeah.
chocolate stout. Barrel aged chocolate stout. There you go. We got it.
We got it.
Any coconut in there?
Who's the one to ask for bourbon? Because
I was
they
gonna say, there you
definitely
go.
got it.
Yeah, for sure.
There's tobacco in there for sure.
Tobacco.
Tobacco.
No, there's some coffee.
It's coffee.
Coffee, for sure.
Coffee can have tobacco.
Larry.
Can I get up?
Well, that coffee is way
You
after.
get up, go ahead
No,
and
that's
get
like that's way after too. Like I taste that coffee,
See, I'm getting more chocolate bitterness than I am.
I'm getting the
with
chocolate,
coffee. I got a lot of chocolate.
and I
right
got
up
coffee at the
Getting
end,
Yeah, that's when I get it, right at the end.
man, and it stays.
It's like that coffee candy.
But I'll say,
Taste that coffee candy flavor.
Yeah, dude.
but I'll say the bourbon
There
is
you
way
go.
more on the nose. Like when I smell this, I
Yeah,
was like, oh
yeah,
god,
you can
it's
smell the
yeah.
bourbon, and then, but I get the coffee at the end.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like
100%.
It's not boozy.
It's wild.
No,
No,
it's not.
not drinking it. No,
It's more on the nose than
Yeah.
it is on
It's
the
actually
it's
really
it's
fruity.
wildly complex. I mean, there's just a ton of things going on
Yeah.
here, and it's beautiful. I love
It's
that.
good.
Boy, let it sit for a little bit,
Yeah.
and then taste it again. Like seriously, let it sit, and then oof.
We've got some salted caramels at home that would be awesome with this.
Right?
Oh, my word.
It's very fruity too.
That's
Up
dessert.
front. I think
Raisiny.
it's fruity.
Like
Yeah.
like
There you go.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
like dried
pruny.
dried fruit,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
I was going to say currant, but
Yeah.
it could be a little
The sophisticated cousin.
Well, all right.
That was awesome.
Looks like I'm done. Go ahead.
Hey,
Marc.
Marc,
Go ahead.
come
This
on
is your
over.
seat now.
Kenobi had a good run, my friend. You had a really good run.
That was it.
Guys.
That was
See you
the
later.
extent.
That was awesome. And then there were 4.
All right. We ready? Big reveal?
Big reveal.
So who does the reveal?
So in addition,
Unless your partner in crime here wants to do it.
Do it, Joe.
addition to Angie's list.
Oh, she is a pro. Look at there's ice in there.
Yeah. Oh, she put an ice.
Yeah.
Fort George,
Oh,
Fort George.
I love Fort George.
Marta
That's
Yoshka,
Astoria.
Yes.
bourbon and whiskey barrel aged Russian Imperial Stout.
Ooh.
Wow. There is a lot going on there.
Yeah, dang.
Yep.
So
Well
I'd say
done.
I want to thank Keith at Koken Market to be soon to be Black Rose Oregon Market, because they are now going to be sponsoring the Angie's Mystery Beer. So thank you, Keith.
That was really cool.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Cheers.
You picked that one up.
That's a good one.
It's a good
That's a really good one.
It's a really good one. Dangerous, but delicious. D&D.
Whew.
There's just a lot there.
That's a lot.
God, that's a good beer.
That's really good. Yeah.
I don't even know what to make of this at this point.
Another good Astoria beer.
Damn alien.
Astoria.
Yeah, what the
Just
hell?
telling you.
Again?
Angie's a witch.
Right.
Yeah.
Every week.
Every week there's a connection.
Almost,
really?
Almost
Yeah.
every week,
Yep.
Angie's mystery beer connects to
Oh,
the.
well, she called me.
Oh,
That is cool.
well, that's
That was smooth.
Did she really?
That was
Oh, I was gonna say.
Joe, what are you bringing?
That would surprise me.
not a witch. Resourceful.
Resourceful.
Strategic.
Right. With a big hat.
Nice.
And a broom.
And a bro.
Nice.
She will see this, right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
was going to say, you better,
yeah.
stop while you're behind.
And a massive cackle.
And a little cat. It's kind of weird.
Oh, goodness.
So, I want to know the connection. So, we talked a little bit about how you two met, but how did you looked under C and you got Columbia Credit Union, right? And then you got to
Shannon Decker.
And it's been marvelous ever since.
She was our sole contact. We did not get handed off to anybody. She was a complete resource for where we needed to go, what we needed to do to take action, and when we needed to do it by. And then she really held our hand through the whole process of the paperwork because it was challenging. There was just a lot of, questions as you're filling out any form that, the language is never normal. And we spent, a considerable amount of time just filling out that information.
This for the PPP?
Yes.
Second round.
Yeah.
We did work with another lady named Julie, and she was great because she came back and helped us with getting more money, because advised us on payroll and, what to put down on the application so that we could maximize the PPP amount.
Awesome. So when you guys hear, when you're in front of client or members, and you hear stuff like that in their experience, what do you feel initially? What's your initial response? Besides, obviously happy, but...
Yeah. It's funny because when you said, what was your experience like? And I was thinking, I hope it was smooth, but this was not a smooth time. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of anxiousness, and frankly, on both sides, because we had people that were advising businesses about how to protect jobs, how to maybe keep their business open through this. Nobody knew how long it was going to last. All they knew is that this was an opportunity. And so there was a lot of anxiousness. And I was thinking, gosh, I hope if something didn't go smoothly, we recovered well. Because I think that's really the key for me, for us, is it's not always going to be perfectly smooth, but how do you recover from that? Because the goal is still the same. The goal is still, let's get through this as smoothly as possible, even through the dips and the valleys. But to be honest, and to answer your question really directly, it's so satisfying. And, we helped over 600 businesses through the PPP process. We're not going to speak to 600 examples, and gosh, I hope that they all had the same experience you did. But hearing you say that, you're representing all those people to me. Yeah. So it makes me feel great.
The other thing was that typically we weren't a member at the time, and they did take us in and allowed us to do the PPP through them, even though we weren't a member. We were part, a community. We were living in the community. So that was really great too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We were adopted.
So Kimberly, I want to ask, one of the things that we ask on our guest questionnaire is what do you wish you knew then that you could go back and tell yourself at startup? And one of the things, you get a really interesting answer that we've never seen, was you said I wish I could go back and tell myself that it was going to be a partner for life. Mm-hmm. And those words, partner for life, really stood out to me, especially with a lot of the other things that you've talked about with us about strategic relationships and the importance of building relationships within your business. But, if you really could go back and say, this is going to be a partner for life. Why is that important? What is it about that particular thing that you would go back and say to yourself? Why is that important to you now, and why do you wish you had known it then?
Well, as Randy alluded to earlier, we were dating first, and we met on eHarmony when they had 23 points of compatibility. Now they have like 26 points of compatibility, and we're pretty sure those are the 3 key components that must be different. So we talk about that a little bit. So we, we have been through many transitions. I'd put the recession of 2008 and COVID up against a breakup and trying to keep a business together any day. That's not only just business sense, but it's also emotions and really raw emotions. And there were long periods of time, I'm sure, that we didn't even exist in the same room together. So we were social distancing before it was popular. And we did that strategically. We just made an agreement. Like when we had to talk, we talked. But it was really important that we just saw it through. And when I look at Randy back then compared to who he is in my world today, and I think we even just talked about this a couple of weeks ago, I said, we're family. Like that's never going to be different. We are family. We will both have other people in our lives and have had other people in our lives. But at the end of the day, that our partnership is very important. And it has to have the right formula for it to work, and it can't cross those boundaries. But there's a comfort level in that, and I think if I would have thought about that differently at the time, if I really would have looked at it as such a long-term endeavor, that having my eyes on that prize versus just what's happening in the moment may have helped some of those rougher moments be smoother, and I think for both of us. I can't speak for Randy, but that's really how I think that's what was in my heart when I wrote that answer.
I bet you could speak for Randy if you really tried.
Well, when truth be told, he asked me what the answer was. What did he write?
Let's see.
Well, but it's funny because Randy did write another answer that kind of took me aback a little bit, because so often we get answers like, "I wish I had gone all in sooner." I wish I hadn't waited in my day-to-day job and really tried. And Randy, you had mentioned, I actually wished that I had gone and gotten a day job and tried to manage that with launching a business, because you had bills to pay and you had to sustain, your livelihood. And so you talked earlier about having to, or you were so used to having the every 2-week paycheck, and then jumping into this entrepreneurial venture is like, holy shit, what have I gotten myself into? So I can appreciate that mindset, but so maybe just talk a little bit about where you were at that point and why you wish you had gone the other way and said, "Oh man, I wish I had gone and gotten something on the side while I tried to launch this."
Yeah, I mean, it would have made things a little easier. I mean, it was just, every week stressful of trying to make a sale or, make sure that, you could pay the mortgage and, using our savings, credit cards, hoping for that, big contract to come through. And, I guess that's, I was kind of an entrepreneur just going for it than, playing it safe and having another job. But I think if I would have had another job, it might have held me back a little bit more of, not, being a little more riskier with, moving the business forward. So
it's a tough balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Man.
There's definitely times that I felt guilty for getting him into the business as well, because I knew what it looked like to be an entrepreneur and have my own business and not always be able to take a paycheck. But that was brand new for him. And so there are definitely times I went through struggling with feeling guilty about that, and just feeling responsible for that.
Yeah.
and bringing it down. No.
Yeah.
But it is real.
Yeah, that's right.
It's
Yeah.
a very real
Wow.
struggle of entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs go through a lot of very isolating times.
100%.
And there's a lot of news out right now, in particular about, and not because of last year, but in the last couple of years of, very successful business owners who have exited and done things, and they're now talking about how isolation stories and depression stories and things like that, and it can be a very lonely space. There's a lot more support out there now of just general conversations, but it can be very isolating, not knowing exactly who to go to for answers sometimes.
And I'm going to bring you guys into that, Joe and Mark. When she said that, like, the community, especially in Vancouver, we've noticed last year, is so supportive of each other, the small business owners. When you see stuff like that, and you're part of that, as helping facilitate and helping these companies stay afloat in times of turmoil, do you get a sense that you're kind of in the community, and you're not just giving money away, but you're giving a part of the community that Columbia Credit Union has formed itself?
One of the things that I haven't touched on is our board. So we have a volunteer board made up of community members from all segments: entrepreneurs, people that have jobs in education and healthcare. And like I said, they're volunteers. But they know the mission, and they guide the CEO and executive management. And so I view it more as a responsibility. And we aren't just another business in the community. We absolutely are a business in the community, but our objective is a little bit different. It's how do we add value to the membership? And so being a part of the community is important to us. Probably one of the best examples is it's just expected. Our leadership is going to volunteer. We're going to choose, and the credit union doesn't tell us where we need to partake, but that's just part of our DNA. And so you either have that or you don't. But I think that comes with the responsibility, is that there's kind of a burden with that, but the reward is so much better or bigger.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'd like to share something around that, just the community-based concept, and also just the integrity, right? And I think the integrity goes back to what we were talking about earlier, just that having the same experience walking into one branch versus another in the credit union, and having that same experience with different people who act like they know you really, really well. Not pretending, but you're just a member. So you're already a member of the club. And then they're going to get to know you from there. But that's an integrity thing. And I think that's really important to Randy and I in our business. We really pride ourselves on having a work ethic, integrity. We like to deal really straightforward with people. We're very honest. And we've been told we answer the phone, which I know is a really high bar. But we return calls and we answer the phone. So that's apparently something that not everybody does. And I will say that we've also had always responses from, when we reach out to the credit union and whatever the questions are, we always get a response within moments, if not the same hour. So it's, that community, as well as I've been introduced to, potential customers because of that relationship as well. That's super important because everybody is doing business together in the community. So Shannon has introduced me to probably at least a half a dozen other businesses. And so that's just planting seeds to create relationships. And we are so excited to do business in our own Pacific Northwest area. And that has been a complete surprise this last year. And that is kind of the result of people staying at home and not traveling. So I'm very appreciative for that happening right now. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Marc, how have you embraced disruption That's something you said is important to you, is embracing disruption. But not only that, of course, there's been a lot of disruption to embrace in the last year.
Right.
But that's part of it. Seems like that's part of what's in your guts and part of your makeup. But how have you embraced disruption, and more importantly, how do you leverage that disruption to make you a better business person and also advance your business?
What a great question. I didn't anticipate that from you. No, I'm kidding.
Is it because the man bun? It's got to be the man bun.
I don't know why.
It's on the cake here.
It might be a little cliche, but you've got to keep your eye on the horizon, not on the waves that are in front of you. Because if you lose sight of where you're actually going, then it's easy to get stuck in the chop. And now you're going up and down, and you might be off course, and the waves are going to hit you from the side. But if you can keep your eye on the bigger prize, then it's a little easier. But you have to have that flexibility. You can't fight it. It's not going to change. The challenge that we have as leaders, and Joe's a really good job, he's got a big team, is making sure that everybody sees that horizon. How do I make sure that we're all rowing in the same direction towards the same prize? And like I said, it's a little cliche, but our motto is making the lives of our members better. And so if you have that as the focus, then how you get there is less important, as long as you get there.
Yeah, for sure. So Joe, how do you do that? I mean, as a manager, especially with a big team, a team who is, I would assume, is very much focused on the day-to-day of what they have to do. I mean, you're a leader, you're a big picture guy, right? But your team is going to be in the day-to-day. They've got to execute on a daily basis. How do you help them through the day-to-day, but also be able to see that bigger picture and that broader horizon?
Well, I think it just comes down to, setting, a clear goal, and then setting daily clear expectations on how you're going to reach that goal on a daily basis. And as Marc said, there's, you wake up every day, expecting, to advance towards that goal, but you're going to get hit with different issues. And it's just, working through those issues without, allowing them to take your focus off of where you want to go. And, for us, we just try to make sure that everybody, just understands that, regardless of what happens today, the day will come to an end, and we get another shot tomorrow. And so as we progress, we just want to make sure that, we attack each day with a goal of trying to reach, to make our community better, to serve the members that we serve, and be a good partner. And so the white noise that comes with just the distractions throughout the day, you just have to be able to take it in, compartmentalize it, figure out how you get through it, and then just get it done and move on. And so if you can't do that, you're going to get stuck in, on a hamster wheel, and you're not going to go anywhere. And we just can't afford to do that. Competition's too great. There are a multitude of banks and credit unions out there who are, wanting to take away our business, our livelihood. And, and I wake up every day thinking I need to be, I need to stay focused. I need to stay, ahead of them. And how do I keep my team focused on that? And fortunately, I have really good people that are just, salt of the earth, and they're goal oriented, but they're also relationship oriented first, and that's what how they view themselves. They're not lenders per se, but they are partners. We're not entrepreneurs, but we want to be a partner with the entrepreneur.
It's really interesting. Credit unions. You were talking about support groups. You used a more articulate term, but being an entrepreneur and being able to talk to other entrepreneurs and, you iron sharpens iron. We're talking about Columbia Credit Union, but if you just talk about credit unions, they're actually very collaborative, in a way that bank to bank will never be. And so it's nice to be kind of part of that energy around other credit unions. So in that vein, I think our goal from a business perspective should be have our fair share. What's our fair share of the market? And so we strive to be number one so that we can have a bigger fair share.
Yeah. Kimberly, tell us about the Global Health News Network.
Oh, fantastic topic. So I've been involved the last couple of years with a team of guys, 2 in the UK and 1 in Seattle, and we have started the Global Health News Network startup. Our intent is to be the end user's experience of everything related to healthcare. So really a completely dedicated platform to only healthcare, scientifically vetted and curated by a board of advisors that we have already appointed. We are currently seeking our first seed funding round.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
What does that mean? We're looking for money.
Okay.
$2.5 million to go to our first. Write me a check.
That's it? Oh, you got my wallet. You got your wallet. Next time.
Next time.
You guys accept Venmo? Just give me a minute.
Bitcoin.
Bitcoin? No problem.
Doge.
We've kind of put our heart and souls into it. We all 4 own other businesses, and we've met twice a week for the last couple of years, virtually. We met one time in New Jersey. We won't ever do that again.
Me or go to New Jersey?
Yeah, you know the answer. And but we can't wait to meet up again. And it has taken longer because of the virtual collaborative effort. But we're very driven. We're getting lots of fantastic feedback. We've been talking to lots of funders, and it's really just a matter of days, not months. So.
I mean, this has been going on since 2017, 2018?
2018.
2018, you've been working on this. So, if you had told me, all right, well, this came out of the pandemic, this came out of the last 8 months, I would not have been surprised. What was it back in 2018 where you kind of saw the demand for this, the need for this, even back then? So what was sort of the gas that fueled that engine?
Yeah, it's really interesting because 2020 has shown, it has shown itself.
Yeah, for sure.
And you can't go back from where we are right now. Like every ideation and news effort has been blown up, and the trust level and the following and the dismantling of all of the traditions they're non-existent right now, and nobody knows where to go and what to do exactly to find trusted resources. Back when we first came up with this concept, and it really was out of a conversation I was having with one of my favorite clients, and I was just listening to this. I'm going to go back to the listening. I was listening to her, and then I listened to another client at the same hospital, and I was like, there's no resource, there's no place where all this information is going, and it's just kind of out there in the ethers, and it's clear that nobody knows exactly what to do to bring this information together. So I called one of my business partners up in Seattle, and I just said, hey, can you just listen to me? This is my out loud conversation. And there's something here. I don't have a handle on exactly what it is, but there's something here. And so I just kind of brain dumped with him, and he said, "Yeah, you're right. There's something there." And he goes, "I think I'd like to talk to somebody I know over in the UK about this." And I said, "Okay." That's literally how we stormed forward, and the conversation just started to evolve. And then we brought on a 4th person, in that conversation, and there was clearly a need for a receptacle that would evaluate, curate content. And by curate, I mean, if you go online and we've all had the example of somebody in our lives has an illness and we want to learn about it, we want to research it, we want to help them, we want to do whatever it is to facilitate that. You go on, you type in these few words, and thousands of things pop up in your window on your computer. And 2013, 2011, 2017, doesn't matter what year pops up. Even if that was the last bit of data that was out there about that particular thing, how would you actually know that that was real? How would you know it was authentic? And how would you know that that's the latest bit of information? I mean, we're not all going to go back to the medical journals and verify the information ourselves, right? It's exhausting. You're already maybe stressed and upset and emotional about whatever's happening anyway. That's just one example of how we foresee that information being utilized. And that's just one patient example.
Sure.
The examples that we keep carrying forward and literally just, I'm just tracking all the people I know and the things that have happened in the last 3 years. I'm like, these are all scenarios. They're all case studies, if you will, scenarios of where this would have really made a difference. And we're just really excited to see it come to fruition. So
that's awesome.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
I'm so grateful to you guys for hosting us. I mean, in all seriousness, being able to sit with you guys on a Friday night and have a couple beers and talk about business and talk about entrepreneurs and to talk about community. Because we do talk about community. We believe in community. We believe in this community. We believe in the importance of small business to our community and to the economy. And to be able to have this conversation with you all is just is really fulfilling. And we're so thankful that you all took a lot of time with us tonight. We're going to leave it there for this evening. But before we go, Ben, it's time.
It's time for the final question. So, seeing as though this is a special 3-part podcast episodic.
It's almost a series.
It is a series almost.
Yeah.
A trilogy.
Oh,
Nice.
All right, so Canope,
Yeah.
why don't you take the credit union guys?
Take these guys?
And I'll take the eco people.
I can start.
All right,
I'm good.
go ahead, start it up.
So these questions came to us from a long-time listener, first-time caller. Joe Storm. Sounds like a superhero's name and a member of the Justice League or Marvel. Are you indeed a crime fighter? And if so, what's your gifted ability, special force of strength, and dominance over the evil forces of nature? By day, a banker, by night, vigilante. Come clean, let your listeners know.
Yeah, that's a good question. I got to be careful, just because I do have a wife and kids at home. So my special powers have got to be on the PG side of, just crime fighting because, I don't like to bring too much violence to the house. But I would say that, growing up a kid of the 70s, watching a Bionic Man, I got to be able to have that one eye that can just, focus in on things. And I want to be able to see, all the crap that's going on, through the walls. So maybe X-ray vision and, just being out of shape and being, pretty much tied to a desk. I think when I get up and fight crime, I can probably just, jump over buildings with a single bound. Pretty much like Superman. So.
Nice.
Damn, either you've thought about this,
Yeah,
or you're really good at
Well,
off the cuff.
Improv.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Marc. Is it true that Columbia Credit Union Board of Directors recently approved the new Columbia Credit Union Operations Center gift shop to be built and opened to the public by December 2021 and will indeed sell coffee cups, hats, shirts, and other CCU merchandise with James O'Neill's autographed headshot printed on all souvenirs and items for purchase?
I don't know where you're getting your information.
I wonder.
I cannot confirm nor deny. He told you that, didn't he?
Who?
Never mind. No, the board of directors is taking a lot under consideration. We're looking for new revenue streams. It turns out that certain employees are taking pens and other paraphernalia.
What's this?
That stapler's mine.
He thinks the red stapler is there.
Yeah.
All red staplers.
No, I can't confirm that. It's a trade secret.
Okay. So, Ben,
Yes.
what do you got?
All right.
Yeah.
Final question. Are you ready? Good.
Ready.
Okay, Randall. All right. You're in a semi-truck.
Yeah.
And it's you and Kimberly in France.
Oh.
And you're driving a semi-truck in France. And you stop. And you both enter... What do they have? The cafes? Bistro.
Mm-hmm.
Open the door. Both of you enter. And there's a seat for both of you at this table. And blank is sitting there. It could be anybody you've ever wanted to meet, living, dead. Who is sitting at that table waiting to have a meal with you in France?
Dolly Parton.
Oh, man.
And why?
Oh, and why? She's just a dynamic woman who...
Dolly Parton, for real? That's awesome.
Yeah, for real.
She's cool.
She's amazing.
She's working on fun.
She's and she takes responsibility for, if you don't like what's going on,
Yeah.
make a new path.
Yeah.
Right? So she's and she has quiet power. There's just something about her power, but it's glamorous, that's for sure. So I love that.
She's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Randy.
Well, I have a number of somebody Jack Nicklaus. When I was growing up, I watched golf on TV and magazines, and I always liked the golfing lifestyle of, these guys are always kind of, integrity, or I don't know what they always, I like the way they dressed, I guess. Country club kind of, look. Anyway.
Can we cut his root beer off? No more root beer for me.
Pure sugar cane.
Oh my gosh, guys, again, thank you so much. We're so grateful for you all taking the time. If people want to find out more about EcoDigital or any of the other things that you are involved in, where would you like people to go?
Oh, you can go to our website, ecodigitalmedia.com. That's ECOmedia.digitalmedia.com.
ECODigitalmedia.com.
Yeah. We love talking about possible projects. It could be anything cool.
Yeah.
What about the Global Health News Network? Is there a place where people can go to learn more about that?
We have a standing website right now, really for funders, and that is at globalhealthnewsnetwork.com,
Perfect.
spelled out fully. So
Awesome.
Thank you for that.
Very good. And Columbia Credit Union, where would you like people to go find out more about you guys and all the things that you're doing in our community?
Yeah, the wonderful World Wide Web. You can find us on there. You don't have to scroll down too far. We're pretty much at the top of the list.
Awesome.
ColumbiaCU.org.
Outstanding. And as always, everything that we talked about tonight, including all the contact information that we just referenced, will be in the show notes and the blog post for this episode. So please go check that out now.
Canope.
Yeah. Yeah.
If people want to find business over beer, where do they go?
Well, they go to bizoverbeer.com. bizoverbeer.com. Got our social media accounts there. We got our blog. Fantastic blog, by the way. Everybody should check it out. Kayla, you do a fantastic job on it. You can listen to and watch our podcast there. And we've got another link there that might be of some interest. Maybe you can go over
Yes, we can actually ask Mr. James O'Neill. He is a Patreon member.
Correct.
And there's a page for Patreons. That's right, people, folks, listeners, viewers. If people want to support what we do and be part of the community that we're building, you can be part of the Patreon. And you can join us for our happy hour, where you can join the other entrepreneurs, small business owners, and people who are passionate about what they do in the community every month, every first Thursday of the month.
Oh, cool.
So there you go. Yeah. Randall,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you.
Kimberly, thank you. Marc, thank you.
Pleasure.
Joe, thank you. Listeners, viewers, I'm sorry. Canope, Kaler, thank you all. Patreons, we love you. We would not be here without you and your support. We will see you all next time.
Good night.
Business Over Beer reminds you to always drink responsibly. Our theme song is Idiocracy by Christian Leo. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on Business Over Beer, a TH3 Entertainment production.